What is going on, guys? It is Livid Frey. Hope you guys are all doing very well today. You guys may remember a video that I came out recently of myself and a duo using an increased kill XP tactician build, and I asked if you guys were interested in the build video, and a lot of you guys were very interested, so that's going to be what we're talking about today. For those of you who didn't see that video yet, I will leave a link in the description, but I'm also going to show some gameplay footage in this video as well as at the end of the video. I did have a lot of questions during my last live stream when I was using this build, like what is the point of it? So the main reason for this build is basically to get as much XP as you can to get your proficiency caches as fast as you can. The faster you earn proficiency caches, the more chances that you have for getting classifieds and exotics. So the overall goal for this is basically just an additional income source for loot. It's definitely not going to be the most efficient way to get loot, but I have found that this is one of, honestly, the more fun ways to do it. You can just roam around the open world and you don't have to really grind at anything so much. This is really just going to help you passively with earning loot. Before I get into the actual build itself, there were a couple of things that I just wanted to review with you guys, starting off first with Accolades. I'm sure that a lot of you guys already know what Accolades are in the game, but for those of you who don't know, basically these are the extra XP bonuses that you receive once you exit combat for doing certain activities. They can be anywhere from just surviving to getting multi-kills to getting headshots or getting revives, things like that. So with this build in particular, we are focusing on the multi-kill accolade, and from the accolade kneepads, we are earning triple the XP that we receive after combat for that. So the more multi-kills that we get while we're in combat, the higher XP bonuses you're going to receive. I have gotten anywhere between like 6,000 XP when I'm by myself to like 120,000 XP when I'm in a trio. It definitely can vary with these kneepads, and it does seem rather inconsistent. However, long story short, you're going to be receiving pretty big bursts of XP, which are going to yield more proficiency caches for you. Another thing to keep in mind is that your teammates' kills also count towards your XP bar. You won't receive the accolades from their kills, obviously, but if they receive kills within a somewhat close proximity of you, then you will also receive that bonus XP for their kills. I'm sure that there are various different ways that you can make a build like this. It doesn't have to be tactician, it doesn't have to go towards multi-kills. You could probably do something along the lines of headshot kills as well, and you could probably earn a lot of XP that way, especially if you have some kind of sniper build and you're in the open world. You can probably get multiple headshots in a row and just kind of rack up all of that XP. I've yet to do a build based around headshot, but I am currently searching for a good pair of kneepads to do this. So just keep an eye out for something like that, and I'm sure that something like that could work very well if that's more your speed. And the last thing that I want to mention before I get into the build is that you guys don't have to do this with classified pieces. The build will work just as good with just regular tactician pieces. Another thing that I'll mention is that we have kind of been messing around with doing 3-piece tactician instead of 4 and using a Barrett's chest piece instead. I think that that's going to honestly give you more value because you're not going to be using your weapons as much, and this is primarily, honestly, you're primarily using this for open world gameplay. I'm not recommending a build like this for legendaries. You could use it for challenging missions, I guess, but I think that open world is where it's going to work best. You're going to earn more multi-kills in a smaller amount of time. So I do think that swapping out the tactician chest piece for a Barrett's chest piece might actually yield you more damage and be of more benefit because you're not really using your weapon all that much, so I don't think you're going to benefit very much from that 30% extra skill power. But yeah, like I said, you guys don't have to have classified pieces for this. Since you're only going up to 4 pieces, really you can just use regular tactician and it's going to work just as good. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the build. Starting off, you're going to want to have increased kill XP rolled on your mask, chest piece, and kneepads, and the easiest way to remember this is pretty much everything. All of the gear pieces that are on the left side of your grid, those ones are going to have all increased kill XP. The other ones on the right side, such as your backpack, gloves, and holster, those ones are not going to have increased kill XP rolls. So starting off with the weapon, we have a lightweight M4. Now on this account that I'm showing you guys this build on, I am not trying to buy blueprints, so what I have is just what I have. So I have a gear score 174 lightweight M4 that has talented, competent, and destructive. I don't have determined on this build. I am pretty much just relying on cool-headed right now. Still trying to work on getting some guns that work best for this build. I just have the house as my secondary because I got lucky and I got one with talented, so this is pretty much the main one that I'll use, but you're really not going to be using your weapon all that much, to be honest, because your initial sticky bomb is going to clear out the majority of the enemies that you need to. But if needed, I have the guns. I do have a cool-headed pistol on me. I have the Damascus. That's just what I was able to craft because my current X45 is a bit of a higher higher gear score, so I'm not able to unlock the cool-headed talent. Now when it comes to the gear, like I was saying, the increased kill XP rolls that are going to be available to you is going to be all of the gear on the left side of your grid. So this is going to be your chest piece, mask, and knee pads. You're going to want to have increased kill XP on all of those gear pieces. So on this current chest piece that I have, this is just what I have. So I was stuck on health. I would say that enemy armor damage is preferred here. So with enemy armor, you'll want skill haste and increased kill, and electronics, of course. I was mentioning that you can switch it over to a Barrett's chest piece and just do 3 pieces of tactician. I think this would be a really strong option, but even my Barrett's chest piece does not have increased kill on this character, so I am sticking with the tactician chest piece for now. For the mask, you definitely want enemy armor damage, increased kill XP, and all of my gear mods are going to be purple prototype electronics mods on increased kill XP electronics. So it's going to give you 6% for each slot for a total of 30. And like I was mentioning before, we are using the Accomplished knee pads where the rewards from Accolades are triple. You'll want to make sure that you have skill power rolled here with damage to elites and increased kill. The other minor attribute is completely up to you. I'm using that electronics increased kill XP, and I'm personally choosing sticky bomb mods. I think they are going to give me higher multi-kill rewards than Seeker Mine ones will. I did manage to find a 213 electronics mod for my backpack that with 6% increased kill. I think it can be anywhere from 4 to 6. So just try and get up to 6% if you can. For the backpack, I have an inventive backpack here. If you don't have an inventive, you can just run another tactician backpack if you want to. I think that the inventive is going to give you higher skill output reward, so I would definitely recommend doing that. This one is on ammo capacity. I would ideally choose Disrupt, but since it's just open world, it's really not a big deal. For the gloves, I have enemy armor damage, 5% health on kill, and skill haste. This is the same rolls that I would do on my regular tactician build. And then for the holster, I have skill haste here as well, and again with a sticky bomb damage mod. If I head over to the character tab, you'll see down, we're just going to skip by the weapon section because we don't care about what our weapons are doing, we care about the skills. We'll see that we have 16% damage to elites coming from the knee pads and 50% enemy armor damage that is coming from the assault rifle as well. This is why it's good to have an assault rifle on your build for tactician, even if you're not using it as like an actual weapon. This is just going to give you more enemy armor damage, and that does apply to your skills. We of course have 40% skill haste, and if we come down here, we have a total of 128% increased kill XP. This increases the XP and Dark Zone XP gained from killing enemies. Now this is extremely important. Before I move on, I need to make sure that I mention this. You guys are more than welcome to use this build in the Dark Zone because adding increased kill XP to your build will increase your Dark Zone rank on kills. However, I must emphasize that the Accomplished knee pads do not work in the Dark Zone, so you need to swap these out for something else. You could run some kind of a combination between Banshee and Tactician. That honestly sounds kind of fun. But this is very important because the Accomplished knee pads don't work. You do not receive accolades inside the Dark Zone. You can use increased kill XP mods and roll it onto your gear. I think that Banshee would work out best for this just because you're constantly going to have your ammo restocked anyway. So missing out on that ammo capacity on the chest piece is not going to be a big deal. So yeah, I just want to make that very well known, very clear that you do not receive accolades inside the Dark Zone. So do not use these knee pads inside the Dark Zone. You're basically going to be wasting a slot. Now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the skills and abilities. We're using the sticky bomb. We have a total damage output of over 1.2 million. This would be much higher, but we are going into increased kill XP mods instead of damage to elites or skill power. So it is still a really great number, and really it's going to one-tap the majority of the enemies that you come across in the open world. The Seeker Mines are hitting over 70,000 HP for the explosion. The cooldown's only 13 seconds on these, and it's a lot faster with cool-headed. For these skills, I have Combat Medic. You don't need Combat Medic. You can use Critical Save if you're going it solo. It's just a habit for me to have Combat Medic on. You can use Strike Back. You can also use Death by Proxy if you'd like to, or Tech Support if you're using a turret. But Demolition Expert and Chain Reaction are must-have, I think, for these builds. It's just going to, you know, they work hand-in-hand with each other. They have great synergy, and I would say that Chain Reaction is an absolute must-have. If you're going to take any one of these off, do Demolition. Make sure you have Chain Reaction on. It's way too big of a benefit to the build. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. This is just a really good alternative to just kind of passively farming for gear. It's like another gear income source, and I have gotten quite a few classifieds and exotics from doing this method, and you can use this in the Dark Zone for sure, but again, just make sure you guys take off those knee pads, swap them out for something else, and then this will actually help you out with earning that Dark Zone rank. I want to say it helps out in Underground too, but I'm not 100% sure, but go test it out for yourselves and let me know. Let me know what you guys think of the build, but thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. I will talk to you later.
Can't believe the bullshit that went down in the Dark Zone at the end there.
I know. We had it. Everything I told them was dead on. They made us pull out anyway.
and we left our dead behind.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that. Hang on a second.